If you're overwhelmed, you're probably doing too much. Let's find the minimum that actually works. Now, with that being said, we're not talking about doing the minimum amount of work. What we're trying to do is find the minimum effective dose of work or the minimum process or the smallest process to make something work. We're not trying to do the least amount of work. So with that, we're looking for small actions that have big, meaningful results. Why that matters is because consistency over intensity always wins. The more consistent you can be, the more your results are going to compound. Great books, Slight Edge or The Compound Effect, both talk about the same thing, where small actions get big results. And when you compound that, it ends up having bigger results. We also want to keep things simple rather than perfect. The more simple a process is or more simple a business is, there's multiple things that happen. A, your life gets easier. But B, if ever in the future you're hiring someone to do certain actions for you, they are going to need simple processes. Lots of people like making very complex processes because it makes it feel important, makes them feel smart. Whereas if it's simple, they're like, anybody can do this, which doesn't boost your ego, but come in the future when you're going to bring people on to do that, the simpler it is, the easier it is to teach, the more you can duplicate yourself. So with that, and looking for our minimum effective dose in any item inside your business, the way we're going to apply it is first find one clear idea, one example, and one call to action. With that, it might be make 10 outreaches a day. DM 10 people about your product or services. Not 100 because you have a lot of energy at that moment. You're going to end up burning yourself out and not be able to do the other tasks you have. Another one, maybe you at this moment are offering 10 different services. Let's minimize that down to a lot smaller of an aspect and maybe offer one package with one price and one promise. For example, I love helping create content for people, coming up with ideas, helping them film, helping them in all manners of aspects, from everything from blogs to TikTok posts to YouTube to LinkedIn. I really thoroughly enjoy that. But my business is not at a moment where I can bring on new projects or new services for people. I'm focusing on one aspect of it because I feel like that's going to be the biggest reward for the least amount of effort at this time. Not that I won't do that in the future, and I hope to help out people with that in the future, but at this time, that's not my focus. So that being said, if you have one product or one service, what's the smallest version of it you can launch today that can get you going? Lots of new business owners or people who are wanting to start a business, they try to flush out the entire process. I recently tried out trying to do some what they call vibe coding now, or having like ChatGPT help you write an app. I'm really into fish, and so I was like, okay, cool. I just want to test this out and see how it works. And I was going and talking to ChatGPT about how to make this app, and I was like, ooh, I'd like it to tell me how often I fed my fish this week. And then I was like, ooh, I also want it to tell me when I want my water changes done. And it was like, oh, and I wanted to be able to give me a whole list of what's wrong with my fish. If I take a photo of it, will it tell me if it's sick? And then, oh, will it record my water parameters? And then I just kept adding thing after thing after thing. And it's still sitting in my chat box with ChatGPT with it all written out. And to be honest, I added so much, I don't even know if it would work. So get the smallest version that you can convert into a sale today. Also, what is the shortest path to a paid conversion? What we're wanting to do is cut the fluff out of what you're doing. Because while it might seem nice, it's not really going to get you the results. So, for example, everybody in business wants to build a sales funnel, which is great and dandy, but once you get it built out. But getting that built out can take a lot of refinement and a lot of movement and a lot of practice to get it to exactly work, so it's actually when someone visits your page, it ends up into a conversion of an appointment or a purchase. Instead, can you do it with a Google form and maybe a Stripe link account where it's like, okay, you record their data and then you reach out to them with a DM and then they purchase using Stripe. Maybe it's take your 10 services and focus on the one that's most profitable for you, even if it's maybe it's making the most money because it's something that you only sell a few times a month, but it makes more money for you than, say, a smaller service that you sell 100 a month. What's going to make you the most money with the least amount of time and effort? So yeah, reflect on your business or your business idea and choose content or outreach or an offer and simplify it down to its simplest form, and then act on it this week. I'd love to hear your guys' results in the comments of you doing that or what you chose to do. And if at any point you're wanting a little bit of guidance, also reach out in the comments or go to our website at Built by the Foot. That's what we specialize in. I'd love to help you out.